Yeah, I'm recording now. So you've got your central square. So for the repair kit, it's a little bit of a bigger square and cutting one off your strips of fabric, but either is fine. So to do traditional log cabin, you line up your strip and cut it off to the length that it needs to be to seam it of each round of the log cabin. With this one, for the repair kit, because to make it just look a little bit more imperfect, should you say, they're sort of talking about putting it on a slight diagonal. So you can do that, or do it the traditional way and keep it lined up if you want to. So if you just cut it a little bit longer than your actual square, because then that allows you to put it on a little bit more of an angle or straight. So we match that up, and it's right sides to right sides of your fabric. So that's actually got a little spot on, it's the other way there. So right side to right side, and then I'm just going to sew a 1/2 centimetre seam. You mainly use a 1/2 centimetre seam with patchwork. So from one side to the other, so start and reverse at the beginning and the end. So that's our first step of the log cabin. There's also a log cabin section on Canvas to look at as well of the written instructions. So I'm using the edge of the foot as my 1/2 centimetre seam allowance. I start first, needle out, and then you press that out. So now I've got this sort of rectangle shape there. And what I do is turn to the left. Doesn't matter, you could turn to the right or the left, as long as you just keep turning it that way every time. So now I've got the bit I've added at the top, I'll turn it to the left, and now I'll get another strip in another colour. So this time it's going to be cut to the length of this rectangle and that square. So I'll measure that along there and cut here, and then I'll put right sides along that top edge. So if it does sort of jut a little bit over, you can just straighten that off before you put that on. So I will put right side to right side of the log cabin, and then I'll do the same and stitch along there, start and reverse, 1/2 centimetre seam allowance, and come off at the end. And now I've sewn the second one, a 1/2 centimetre seam allowance, reversed at the beginning and the end. You can press that up and again snip off the threads, and if the ends sort of jut further than where they're lining up to, and then again that's up at the top, turn to the left, and we add our third colour now. Now I'll add the third colour, turn that to the left, along the top. So along here, 1/2 centimetre. I've sewn that one now, press that up, turn to the left, and then you're back to your first colour again, depending on how many colours that you're using. So I'll lay that, so it's now even longer, the strip that we're putting. Do 1/2 centimetre along there. So I'm back to the first colour there. I've added that at the top. Again, press it, just keep turning to the left, and now I'm back to the second colour. So I'll lay that on here, cut it. Because for this repair kit, it's not overly precise. You can, as I've mentioned before, you can just put it on at a slight angle if you want to, or keep it flush to the top. And now I'll add that onto there. Once that's done, keep turning it to the left and keep adding the next colour in line, and just keep rotating it until you get it to the size that you want to. If you're sort of getting to the end of if you've only got short strips, you manage to get out of your fabric rather than long ones. If you are doing quite a big log cabin, you may need to join some of your strips together. So you just simply put right sides together of your strip, sew along a 1/2 centimetre seam allowance, and then press it out, and then just continue to cut it to the size that you want it to be. When you look at traditional log cabins and look closely, you often see that there is a join on some of the panels as well. So that will just help you to extend it and make it to as large as you want it to be. So yeah, you can see there I've joined the strip together and then I've treated it as one piece to do for the next line and press that back. So you just see a slight seam on your log cabin, but that's fine. And then rotate to the left, and then you back to the next colour.